It's the Pigs and Fergs and someone else.
Do you know who we got, guys? We got Nick Storm.
Yeah.
I've been teasing it for weeks. It's time to let the cat out of the bag. Can Nick Storm please stand up? They're Australian icon. Can you please stand up and tell everyone who you are? Please, Nick Storm, rise.
Good day, mate. It's me, Nick Storm. I'm here from Wellington, Australia, to do a good old-fashioned review.
Now, Nick Storm, what age are you?
I am 34.
Right, I thought you were 21, but you're 34. Sorry. Nick, you have long hair, don't you?
Yeah.
How do you keep that long hair? How do you clean it and all that?
I go to the sink and just put my hair in the water, and I just sit there for hours.
Do they not have showers or baths in Australia?
No,
Why are you
no,
washing your hair in the sink, Nick?
Yeah, because it's crazy. I have to go in a lake, but the kangaroos actually go in there, and they could actually like drown you.
I've heard.
Wow.
I've heard. It's the same. It's the same over here with our
Pigeons.
Pigeons, yeah, the pigeons, especially the ones in London. They'll peck your face off.
Oh, I've been around pigeons. I have a photograph of me. I am the pigeon master. I stand there and give pigeons oaths. Pigeons have come to me. I am a pigeon god to them.
The Pied Piper of pigeons, if you will. Can I break the illusion? Can I break the illusion and say this isn't actually Nick Storm? We were going to have Nick Storm on.
No, we have to keep it going for the entire podcast.
No, because it's unfair to Nick, and I want to keep good relations with him and the people of Australia so that he can potentially come on in the future. But in the meantime, we have a guest just as good.
Nick Storm, can you please leave, and can Davian return?
Oh yeah, right. Nick Storm, get out of the call and get Davian in here.
All right, I'm back, boy.
Yeah.
Nick Storm.
Yeah.
It's another one of Davian's picks. Last time you put us through hell with Halloween Havoc. What have you chosen this time?
I've chosen one of the greatest shows ever. It's the greatest show of all time. December to Dismember. Oh wait,
Not
wrong
yet.
one. Sorry,
Not yet.
That's for the next pile. We have WrestleMania 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the stars are here.
All the
Yeah.
stars. Fit Finley.
Triple H doing a crossface. Woo!
I saw that, and we'll talk about that. But also, the fact that you picked WrestleMania 24 fits in nicely to our little 2008 arc, and it's not like we persuaded you to choose WrestleMania 24 or anything, is it?
No. As I said originally, I was gonna go for SummerSlam 1998 or a Fatal 4-Way, but I decided to go with WrestleMania 24 perfectly. Wink, wink.
And that 50 quid will go to your PayPal shortly.
Let's go.
Keep kayfabe, keep kayfabe. So we're in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. It's March 30th, 2008 for WrestleMania 24, the first WrestleMania in HD, and also the final WrestleMania of the Ruthless Aggression era. A lot of interesting stuff on this show. We've got potentially the final match of Ric Flair. We've also got the main event between Edge and The Undertaker. Got a cracking triple threat match for the WWE Championship and a bunch of celebrity guest appearances too. But first of all, nostalgia. What was happening on the episodes leading in to WrestleMania, Piggy? You're the person to go for all the info.
Piggy, take your time.
Well, first off, I want you gentlemen do you want to do ringside first?
Yeah, go on ringside. Have a look at ringside and what figures are up there, because I remember last time, I know they released a WrestleMania 24 playset with like the cardboard up.
Davian, there you go. There's a link in our chat for people who want to join me. Going to ringside in 2008.
Oh man, this brings back so much nostalgia, I tell you.
This website screams graphic design is my passion.
Oh, 100%. We have Classic Superstars 17.
We have an exclusive Edge and Batista 2-pack. We have a Classic Superstar 17, a Jimmy Hart package deal. There's a lot of good stuff here.
There is.
Anything spring to your mind, Davian?
This Blue Shane McMahon. If anybody can remember, Harrison did this one show. I think it was Shane and John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, and it went all over the ring. There was even like an elimination chamber, And, like, that Shane McMahon just comes straight to mind. And, man, seeing all these Jax figures really blow your mind, man. It really makes you think about the good old times. Even the Great Khali, Great Khali. Once in the NLW Battle Royal. I also own that figure as well. It's such a good figure.
The monster triple threat was, I got it for my 10th birthday. The year that this came out as well. Like, 1 month before this, it was my birthday, and I got the triple threat pack between the Undertaker, Kane, and the Great Khali, and I loved it.
If you don't mind, gentlemen, I'm going to run through the set that the Blue Shane McMahon was in. So if you don't guys mind, I will quickly run through that. So the complete set of 9 is $111. The reason I'm bringing up the price is because, wow, how times have changed. So the set of 9 is $111.11. You can get a 3-pack of Eddie Guerrero, Rock, and Shane for $34.88, which I don't know. And then you can get them singly. So there's Eddie Guerrero, The Rock, Shane McMahon, Triple H as an LJN, Repo Man, Typhoon, and Rocky Johnson, Ken Patera, Ivan Putski, and that was it. That's Classic Superstar 17.
Didn't Ken Patera rob a McDonald's and then get put in prison for like 2 years?
Who?
Ken Patera. He robbed a McDonald's. Yeah. Look it up. And then he was put in prison, and then when he got out, I think he went back to the WWF, but he was kind of not really treated as, So, interesting story.
Was that it was because of freaking, I think I read it on this Memphis story. He just grabbed a boulder and he always says somebody threw it in, but everybody knows that he did it. And then he took a bunch of of the burgers and left.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. But then again, have you ever had hunger that bad that you've wanted to steal all the hamburgers from McDonald's?
It kind of sounds like he was on weed, honestly.
It sounds like, now, hear me out here. I think Ken Patera may have been framed by the Hamburglar.
You know what? No, it's the Repo Man.
The Repo Man framed him, or the Hamburglar framed him. Like, I'd have the Hamburglar come out.
Tag team.
Yeah, I would have had the Hamburglar do the opening. What's the word? Anthem instead of John Legend. Personally, I think that could have been interesting. But here we go. I'm not going to fantasy book that side of things. We've already talked about SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 on this show. Did you, Davian? Did you have SmackDown vs. Raw 2008? Because that's what we do on this show. We talk about the video games of the past.
I still have that game. I still have it right now. It's downstairs. I love playing it. I just wish it had a better roster, honestly.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of people on that, like London Kendrick, so many people. But they did have Sabu, so they got that going for
Sabu
it.
was fun to play. Sandman, Nitsky.
Yeah. CM Punk, though, and your boy, Monty Brown, is in it, so...
Yeah.
You want to know who's my biggest boy in that game?
Who?
Kenny Dykstra.
Oh, Kenny Dykstra. Him or Elijah Burke as well is in that game, I think.
It's Kenny Dykstra, Chavo Guerrero. I'll tell you what's crazy about it is when Chavo, in that game when I was playing GM mode, I had Kenny Dykstra and Chavo Guerrero wrestle for the World Champion at Judgment Day for SmackDown side. SmackDown is better because you get all men champions, and I like doing that more than having to have the poor women defend when I'm not good at booking them. But anyway, back to the point. I had Chavo and Kenny Dykstra wrestle the World Champion. Chavo won, and they went through the entire rest of the year. Kenny Dykstra, on CPU, by the way, won the Royal Rumble match from the 10th spot, which blew my mind seeing that. And then he went to win the Rumble. He goes on and he fights Chavo at Mania as I booked them. Like, I booked both of them to have higher overalls. And then they had the match, and then Kenny won. And that was, like, the end of that GM mode. And, a really good game, but again, as I say, a lacking roster.
Yeah. I mean, I played that GM mode so many times, only because it was the first one on PS3. So, and it's, well, up until 2K22, it was the only game on PS3 to have GM mode, so I played that constantly. I don't know who would ever choose ECW in that game, because they barely have any pay-per-views, and they've got, like, one championship to book. So, but they always beat me. The CPU for ECW always beat me, and I have no idea why.
You see? They always have, like, these shows, these shitty matches. Like,
Yeah.
they have Mickey James versus Great Khali, Mark Henry, and Umaga. It's just, what?
Yeah.
It's Umanga.
Umanga. We'll hear that later. And finally, Piggy, because you insisted, please don't read out the times. Please just go through the matches from the week prior to this.
And fun fact, by the way, before I read the results, SVR 2007, so SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, with the final appearance of Kurt Angle and was supposed to be on the PS3, and the only reason it wasn't was because of time constraint. But a modder known by Scott J has got an early prototype of the PS3 version, and he aims to bring it out on Patreon soon, or sometime in the future.
I'm very looking forward to that. Do you remember the SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 the advert with like the ultra realistic graphics when it had like Kurt Angle and Cena? Yeah, that was insane. I mean, it was still a great game. Don't get me wrong.
The light tube, remember that? That was the biggest. Like, that game still looked good and stuff like that, but that, like,
bait and switch. Yeah.
Yeah. Still, 2007 is my favorite wrestling game of all time.
I'll say here. Yeah. That and Here Comes the Pain.
Also, while we're shouting out modders, shout out to YoungBoy11. Not only did he give me a ringside Chris Jericho, but he is also importing every SVR character from the Xbox 360 era into SVR 11. So, Raw will be in it, Angle will be in it, Hogan will be in it. That includes Legends of WrestleMania, and that mod will be out soon as well. So, if you have a modded Xbox, you can play SVR 11 with every character. So that includes every DLC from SVR 09 to SVR 11. It also includes some hidden gems like a Daniel Bryan mod, a Brock Lesnar model. He was never officially in a SVR game, same with Bryan, and some others. Like, I believe he's also working on some custom characters that you can include. So in the custom wrestler selection, we'll have Test, Sean O'Hare, Deuce and Domino, and so forth. So yeah, just a quick shout out to YoungBoy11. So Raw. You excited for Raw?
No.
Okay. Carlito and Montel Fantavious Porter defeated Chris Jericho and CM Punk. The Great Khali defeated Hardcore Holly. Maria versus Melina. Here she comes again. Okay. Beth Phoenix ended in a no contest. Beth Phoenix, Melina, and Santino Marella defeated Ashley, Jerry Lawler, and Maria. John Cena, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H defeated John Bradshaw, Layfield, Randy Orton, Big Show, and Umanga in an ODQ 8-man tag match by submission.
What the hell is that show?
That's fun.
And the commentators were Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross, and Lillian Garcia. So, time for ECW. We had Brian Kendrick, Chuck Palumbo, Deuce Domino, Elijah Burke, Lance Cade, Mark Henry, Matt Striker, Snitsky, The Great Khali, The Miz, and Trevor Murdoch defeat Cody Rhodes, Festus, Hardcore Holly, Jamie Noble, Jesse, Jim Duggan, Jimmy Wang Yang, Kane, Kofi Kingston, Shannon Moore, Tommy Dreamer, and Val Venus in a 24-man tag team match. Shelton Benjamin defeated Carlito, Layla, and Mike Knox defeated Kelly and Stevie Richards. Chavo Guerrero defeated Tommy Dreamer.
Well, that I think that what was the first tag team you mentioned? Can you just read the whole thing off again? Actually, no, don't worry about it. They that's one of my favorite. Okay. No, that's one of my favorite tag teams of all time. I mean, the combinations there. Okay.
Brian Kendrick,
no, we don't need to. Move on to SmackDown. Move on to SmackDown. Move on to SmackDown.
Lance Cade, Mark Henry, Snitsky, The Great Khali, The Miz, and Trevor Murdoch defeated Cody Rhodes, Festus, Hardcore Holly, Jamie Noble, Jesse, Jim Duggan, Jimmy Wang Yang, Kane, Kofi Kingston, Shannon Moore, Tommy Dreamer, and Val Venus in a 24-man tag team match.
And a Parsford pear tree.
Yeah. Move on to SmackDown.
I have to go to TNA first.
That's a death sentence for any wrestler. Go on.
So TNA for March 27th, 2008. Oh yeah, your commentators for ECW were Joey Styles and Taz. Anyways. Curryman, Eric Young, and Shark Boy defeated the Rock and Rave Infection, Jimmy Rave, and Lance Hyde and Relic in a 6-man dark match. Okay. Johnny Define with Brother Devin and Brother Ray defeated Alex Shelley in a Lockdown Escape qualifying match. Latin American Exchange, Hernandez and Homicide and Salinet defeated P.D. Williams, Rakan Khan, and Scott Steiner. Booker T defeated Robert Roode in a First Blood match. Awesome Kong with Raja Seed defeated ODB to retain the TNA Women's Knockout Championship. And Team Cage, Christian Cage, Kevin Nash, Rhino and Sting defeated Team Tonko, AJ Styles, Brother Devin, Brother Ray and Tonko in an 8-man tag team match. SmackDown. Then
This is torture.
Wait, did I hear Tatanka was on the show?
No, Tomko.
Tomko.
Okay.
The way I say Tomko, it sounds like Tanka.
Sorry, I heard Tatanka. I thought I heard Tatanka. I'm like, what the hell was going on at this time? This is
And the commentators for TNA were, of course, Don West and Mike Tenay. Your dark match for SmackDown was Ron Killings defeated Kenny Dykstra. Over the top rope challenge, Mark Henry defeated Chuck Palumbo and Kane and the Great Khali. The Great Khali eliminated Chuck Palumbo. The Great Khali eliminated Kane. Mark Henry, the Great Khali eliminated. Your singles match had CM Punk defeat John Morrison. Your 6-man tag match, Festus, Jesse, and Kofi Kingston defeated Lance Cade, The Miz, and Trevor Murdoch. Your singles match had Batista defeat Snitsky. A WrestleMania Wet and Wild tag team water fight, special referee Eve defeated Cherry and Michelle McCool defeated Maurice and Victoria. Your singles match had Chris Jericho versus MVP by DQ. Your dark match had Batista, Ric Flair, and The Undertaker defeat Edge, MVP, and The Big Show. And your commentators were Michael Cole, Jonathan Coachman, and your ring announcer was Justin Roberts.
I wish every match on this show was a Wet and Wild match. Could have seen what's his face, a Great Khali getting all wet and wild. That would have been cool. That's what happened in the build up. Thank you, Piggy. As you can tell,
I will be back for the results after.
I want to go to bed.
No, we have to do the Raw, ECW, Impact, and SmackDown after WrestleMania.
I'll just cut it. I'll just cut it from the broadcast, and no one will be able to hear it.
You won't cut me off. I own half of this channel.
Oh, true. I'll give your half to Davian if you keep up.
I will leak your face to the internet. So don't threaten me, boy.
But first, before we get into that, we have to get into our pre-show, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you watch the pre-show, Davian?
Yes.
Tell us what happened in the Battle Royal then. Because before we started here at WrestleMania 24, we had a pre-show Battle Royal. That's what that 24-man tag on ECW was all about. It was, and we don't need to run them down. You heard them in the ECW tag match. A bunch of different guys in this. You had Brian Kendrick, Kofi Kingston, Dreamer. This was for a shot at the ECW Championship at WrestleMania 24. And I know Piggy didn't watch this. I'm just guessing. But Davian,
No.
Give us a rundown of what happened during this pre-show Battle Royal.
It was as eventful as any normal Battle Royal. I'll tell you what, like, you could would honestly, if you didn't watch this Battle Royal, yeah, sure, there'd be, like, one thing you wouldn't understand about this show. But besides that, it's, like, the best thing to think about is, like Kane won. And, like, as a big Kane fan, perfectly enjoyed it. Perfectly liked that Kane won. There was not much of anything else, I felt. But, yeah, if for some reason you want to watch I'll tell you what, though. This Battle Royal was definitely better than most of the Andre the Giant Battle Royals in today's standards. So.
Fair enough. I mean, it had some star power in it, you know. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was in it. Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. You know, Kofi Kingston as well. Like, there are a couple of cool people in this one, so fair enough.
I'm gonna whenever I make a request, one day I'm gonna make you do some of the most outlandish stuff ever in your goddamn in the certain promotion. You're gonna like one day just like look down. You're gonna be like, why is he requesting me to do Jim Duggan versus Dominic Mysterio versus the Great Khali.
I have all of those figures, so that is very much a possibility in the future for XL Pro.
It has to be baby Dominic. It has to be baby Dominic.
Oh no.
Do you have a Giant Gonzalez?
Never mind.
I'm hoping you have a Giant Gonzalez figure.
No, I'll have to buy one.
Okay. The day you do, you're doing, like, on the spot, I'm requesting Giant Gonzalez versus the Great Khali. And during that match, you have to just make it like you're absolutely bored out of your mind. Like, the crowd doesn't even pop for anything. But then out of nowhere, one of them hit like a Hurricane Rana or a Tilt-A-Whirl out of nowhere, and just like they start hitting luchador stuff.
You're gonna spoil the surprise for the viewers, because that is gonna happen. I'm sure it's gonna happen. Something like that's gonna happen.
I'll book it on XL Pro. Don't worry. I own that federation.
Oh yeah, I forgot I agreed to that. Anyway, WrestleMania 24. It's live from the Citrus Bowl, an outdoor arena. Very nice atmosphere here. We get John Legend singing the America the Beautiful, and then we get straight into the show. But this crowd is pretty popping. The arena itself. I love it having it outdoor. What do you think of the stage setup here?
The stage, I have to actually look at the stage. We have to talk to Davian.
Davian, what do you think of it then?
Greatest stage of all time.
Really?
Yeah, it was this or 23, but the more I look at this one, I think it just has more stuff over 23 that I like, and it just feels bigger, I guess. I just like it more. It's just, this Mania has, with the stage and stuff like that, it gives it such a good vibe that when you just look at it for so long, you just see everything like, I don't know what. I guess I just like, when you have someone like Shawn Michaels' entrance, when he does his thing and the fireworks going off and you just see all that.
It's the 360 cam. It's the 360 cam as well around the wrestlers. Like, I know they did it with Triple H and all the fireworks and stuff, where they would they'd pan around and that would be in the background. I think that was quite, iconic shots. So
This entire Mania looks iconic.
Yeah, they definitely managed to capture a lot of B-roll for future WrestleMania packages, like the way it's shot. So, yeah. What do you think, Piggy? Looking at it,
not my favorite stage, but it's a pretty good stage. I will. Not my favorite stage. Yeah, but it's a pretty good stage. I would give it that. If Mattel can somehow remake it, I'd buy it.
Well, they did they didn't actually do this, but they did like a WrestleMania 24 set, but it was more of just like a cardboard thing. If you've ever watched Loser King's animations back in the day, then that kind of featured prominently there, and a couple other people too. But it's a cool stage, and also orange ring ropes, very very unique. I don't think they've ever been that colour before.
Yeah, I like that. Fun fact about the stage, if you ever looked at it, since I'm able to watch matches now, I'm watching, by the way, the show again just for a purpose of just watching it, just in case if I notice anything. But if you look at the stage, it actually says the match that's going on in the background.
Oh, really?
Like on the little headline thing. It's like right below where it starts to go really high in the air. It says like Batista versus Umaga, and I think that's a really neat thing to add.
Yeah, I know SummerSlam later in the year, I think, did something similar where it had like the movie theatre. That's one of my favourite stage designs, actually, the movie theatre SummerSlam, and they got like the playing now, and it's got like Hell in a Cell, Undertaker, Edge. That's quite a nice little touch. But yeah, first match to kick off the show, Belfast Brawl, Finlay versus JBL. But how did we get here? Well, Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's son. Or was he? No. Who was the father of Hornswoggle in the end?
Piggy.
Piggy. You both said it at the same time. No, it was not Piggy. It was Finlay. That's it. Finlay. It was Finlay, and JBL beat up Hornswoggle in a cage, and then just bet him up real bad. This was this storyline was originally supposed to culminate with Mr. Kennedy versus Triple H. How the hell did we get here? I don't know. There's so much lore to discuss when it comes to Hornswoggle and all that, but yeah, I guess we can just go straight into our highlights of this match. I don't know if I want to go in, because it's quite a long card, so I don't know if I want to go move for move in this one, but I will tell you some of my favourite parts of this. Yeah. Well, you know the two I'm thinking of, and I think you know which. So if you can guess which two they are, my favourite moments of this match.
So I'm going to take a wild guess and say Hornswoggle getting a damn trash can.
They showed it at the end as well, but yeah, this is the highlight of the match for me. Hornswoggle getting. I know it's a bit of a what's the word? Vulgar term, but Hornswoggle gets twatted on the outside by a trash can being flown by JBL. It's absolutely insane. Like, Hornswoggle's not even doing anything, he's just on the outside. JBL just picks it up, throws it at him, and wipes him out. It's so funny, and it makes me laugh so much. And obviously the second one, you know what it is, because you wouldn't expect it from him.
Oh yeah, the suicide dive by Finlay, just so out of nowhere.
A suicide dive into a trash can as well, because JBL's having none of it, smacks Finlay in the face, and Finlay just face plants. And, oh, damn, like, I really like this match. I think it's a great kickoff for WrestleMania. So you've got, your standard, it's a Belfast Brawl, so there's weapons in here. You've got garbage cans, kendo sticks. JBL brings in the steel stairs and gets backdropped off them. And then, Finlay's getting beaten up by a trash can, and, eventually JBL gets thrown into the table, and then tries to use the stairs, but hit with a kendo stick, and bam, clothesline from hell. Finlay loses to JBL, and you know what? Really like this opener. What did you think, Peggy? First of all, you?
What did I think?
Yeah, Finlay's your boy, isn't he?
No, Finlay is definitely a boy.
But is this your favourite match of Finlay's? Because it's up there for me.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, Davian, your thoughts on this match?
Okay, before I just want to say, since Piggy has all the relatives on the computer stuff, Piggy, I'd like to ask for you to search up what are Dave Meltzer's star rating on this show, because I'm generally curious, because this beginning match, it goes right into what I'm going to say. This beginning match, I think, is possibly the greatest WrestleMania opener of all time.
Move over Brett and Owen.
I had to watch Brett and Owen again because I'm still torn on it, because that might be crazy to say, but the difference between these two matches are night and day. But I just think that Finlay and freaking JBL just beat the living hell out of each other, and it felt physical. This felt like a fight, and so yeah, that's really good opener. Hell of a way to start the show.
It got 2.25 stars.
Well, you don't know nothing. Meltzer don't know nothing. I like this match. I will
continue to use Meltzer stars for the rest of the show to annoy both of you.
Oh, he can shove him up his arse. This was a great match. Great opener. I loved it. And it put me back in the... Because I was expecting not to like this that much, but it was short, and it was a good way to get the crowd into the show. And it was nice to start off with a weapons-filled, brawl. So, fair enough. Cut to backstage... And it's Kim Kardashian! Woo! You can't have skipped her. How dare you? David, you didn't skip her, did you?
No.
Didn't Kim Kardashian allegedly rape someone?
Oh, God.
I'm not putting that in!
No, that's
didn't she allegedly do it?
You can't allegedly... No. Oh, am I going to have to Google that? No, I'm not Googling it. I'm not even quantifying that response. Her show is awesome.
Piggy, that was Cardi B.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Oh, you're mixing them up. That was Cardi B. You are thinking of Cardi B. Yes.
Cardi B actually did. Anyway, let's move on.
She ain't on this show. It's Kim K, and she's doing a little spot for Money in the Bank, and she looks thrilled to be there, not being held hostage at all. And then Mr. Kennedy says he's going to interrupt. I'm waiting.
And then he does.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for the Kennedy.
There
you go. That's what I was waiting for. So, yells her in the face. Great. Little fun spot there. Kennedy. Oh, bit late, but yeah, fair enough. Next up, Money in the Bank ladder match. Oh, the hits keep on coming. In this one, 7 people. We got Carlito, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, John Morrison, Mr. Kennedy, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. Who was originally supposed to win this? Trivia.
Wait, Jeff Hardy. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff Hardy was supposed to win this.
So
yeah, I don't know how he would have won it.
on the show, probably a similar finish, but on the show, not on the show before this, but a couple of Raws before this, Jeff Hardy, I believe, beat whoever. I think it could have been Chris Jericho to qualify for... No, he didn't beat Chris Jericho, but he qualified for this Money in the Bank match. So they've got the graphic, he's ready to enter it, and then he gets suspended, and he drops the championship to Chris Jericho, who ends up qualifying in his place for Money in the Bank. So then, yeah, Hardy obviously was going to win this match, and it was definitely the story they were telling, especially when you look at the Royal Rumble where he lost to Randy Orton, and at the Elimination Chamber where he just missed out to beating Triple H. So scheduled to win this match, and gutting that we didn't see Jeff Hardy in Money in the Bank here, because I think, you know, he was everyone's favourite at the time, especially me, little 10-year-old Fergs, and so gutted that he wasn't in it, but that was the opportunity for a new person to win, and I think this is possibly one of the best Money in the Bank lineups ever. Would you agree?
And Dave Meltzer gave this match 3.25 stars.
Well, again, bollocks to that, because this is great. This is one of the best ladder matches ever.
Generally, like, this match, like, I had so much fun watching this. This is what, like, it had, like, specific big points, but, like, those big points were, like, there wasn't so many in them. It was just that, like, sprinkled in. It made those big points feel even better. Like, what are your guys' 2 big points in this match? I think everybody's will be the same.
Oh, well, first of all, it's Shelton falling off the ladder. That's brutal. The bump he takes, and to be fair, Shelton for most of this is the MVP, because no pun intended for MVP, but he is, you know, he's doing all sorts here. Well, actually, no, you can't really say he's the MVP because there's so many spots. Like, I mean, there's John Morrison with the moonsault with the ladder, holding the ladder.
That, growing up, seeing that, I was like, oh my god, how did he do it?
It feels like it would still be out of place today because of how wacky it is and how, like, much control you'd have to have. I mean, Piggy, what are your kind of highlights of this match? What are your favourite points, favourite spots?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Sorry, I had to take my sleepy tablets.
Oh, I see.
There.
You're going to conk out. You're going to conk out
my nightmare that I had it last night about somehow being in Fergal's house and Paul McCartney and John Lennon were there.
We could be the trio champions.
You had to be there, Dagan. You had to be there.
I was there.
Yeah,
no, you weren't in the house. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were.
Well, you don't know. He could have been hiding in my closet.
Oh, he could have. But he was the 5th Beatle. My favourite moment is Shelton Benjamin with the ladder and John Morrison with the ladder.
Yeah. Shelton Benjamin basically being pushed to his doom, flying, doing a front somersault through the ladder, and I used so many sound clips from this match in my animations back in the day, like the ladder smashing. That's what I used. Like, it was iconic in many ways. And there's also so many other cool things, like there's a sunset flip on Kennedy who suplexes Morrison off the top. That's insane. And like perfectly hit as well. Then there's like a ladder tilt thing going on. There are also very few botched spots. I don't think there's any botched spots in this one. I think that, actually, to be fair, Shelton tries to jump on the ladder at one point and it crashes under him. But apart from him eating shit there, like, the most of it is on point. Like, they keep springboarding onto ladders from out of nowhere. Jericho puts Morrison in the walls of Jericho on top of the ladder, and I was like, oh my god, how are they managing to balance there? So, yeah, there's also...
The only time he did it.
Yeah. The more spots that happen, the crazier it gets, like a backstabber on Chris Jericho off the ladder. And again, it looks like MVP is going to win this at one point, when who comes from the crowd and stops him?
Piggy.
Not Piggy.
It's, I can slam a tornado, and my mic,
I can drive home the sea.
Yeah. He lives for the moment.
Hardy.
He does. And do you feel like this probably would have been how Jeff Hardy won the match? Do you think?
Probably. I think so, but I also think so that the Jericho thing probably would have been there too, just specifically of how, like, that's why I think they did something similar to when Hardy won the title against Ed, because of, if you remember, Punk does something very similar to where he does it with Jericho, where they get stuck in the ladder. Both him and Edge does that. They get stuck in the ladder. So I think that's, like, they may have done a slight callback there.
Yeah.
And it was for a specific reason, so...
And then, ironically, Punk ends up cashing in after that match on Jeff Hardy from his second Money in the Bank, so it all comes full circle. We've got the... So, yeah, like you said, there's... Jericho looks like he's going to win, but then CM Punk's there too, and Punk pulls Jericho's leg through the rungs, like you said, leaving him hanging upside down, and that allows Punk to pull down the briefcase, and CM Punk wins in 14 minutes. And one of my favourite Money in the Banks ever. Like, I had more fun watching it here than I remembered watching it for the first time. There's not too many spots, and it's not too long either, but there's enough for it to keep a rapid pace without being boring, or, like, you know, not too over the top like a lot of matches. But I really, really like this Money in the Bank. Piggy, what did you think of it?
Pretty good ladder match. Not my favourite ladder match. That's obviously TLC 3. Does that count?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so.
If TLC 3 doesn't count, then Benoit versus Jericho at Rumble 01 with that horrific chair shot is personally my favourite.
You know what?
Count TLC 3.
That horrific chair shot reminded me of Finlay in this one as well, where he goes through the ropes and gets smacked in the face with the trash can. I'm surprised they're still doing stuff, because there was a lot of shots to the head as well in the show. You know, still TV-14 at this point as well. So that's something to think about. But yeah, Davian, you said this is one of your favourites ever. How does it rank up there for Money in the Banks for you?
It ranks pretty high. Like, honestly, okay, for nostalgia reasons of remembering it, it's definitely, like, it would be first. But, like, as a ladder match itself, I think Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy, if any of you can remember that match.
I love that match. I love that match so much.
That, for me personally, I think is my favorite. And that's crazy to say, but it's just of, like, how insane that match is. And, like, there's a couple other ones. Like, there's the obvious, like, WrestleMania 17, you know, you have that match. You have Ric Flair versus Edge in a ladder match on Raw, which nobody really knows about that one for some reason, but that match is also really good as a ladder match. WrestleMania 22, Ric Flair literally takes a dive off the damn ladder and comes back like 20 minutes later. Ric Flair is insane with these ladder matches. I personally will say, I think one of my favorites was Trevor Murdoch versus Gene Snitsky in a ladder match. It was weird, but I love it.
What the hell? When did this happen?
Oh, it was a weird, like, random. I don't know if you can find it, but they said, like, it was. I remember seeing something. I don't know what it was, but it said on a house show they just for some reason decided to turn the match into a ladder match, and they, like, something was, like, set up basically, but the wrestlers weren't there, so they. My damn cats are crying. They just randomly, like, had to compete in a ladder match for some random reason because the wrestlers didn't appear at the house show. So
fair enough. I mean, that sounds interesting. I mean, that sounds almost as wacky as the segment. Well, first of all, we get the inductees for the Hall of Fame 2008 on the stage. Eddie Graham being represented by Mike Graham, enemy of the podcast because he foolishly stated that Jeff Jarrett never drew a dime and smashed 1,000 guitars, which is a lie. Jeff Jarrett is awesome. And Gordon Soley was here.
Guitars.
Yeah, Gordon Soley's representatives here. Peter Maivia, Ric Flair as well represented, and, like, Mae Young, Rocky Johnson, the Briscoes, Jack and Jerry there too. And then we get a weird segment with Snoop Dogg and Festus and Santino, and then Mick Foley with his have a nice dizzle because it's Snoop Dogg. Do you get it? Bit weird.
Yeah. Speaking of the Hall of Fame inductees, I really am glad that we picked the year that Mae Young gets inducted, because not a lot of people talk about Mae Young. They just always point and laugh at her, which is not nice. She is a tremendous wrestler, and I will say this, and I hope the Sasha stands are in the comments. I hope this gets clipped. I am stating this, and I want this to be clipped and spread online. Mae Young could wrestle rings around Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks could not lay a finger on Mae Young. Mae Young in her 90s could out-wrestle prime Sasha Banks, and I will fight anyone on that.
Listen, you have a crush on Mae Young, and you know you want to date her.
I would.
I would happily shag her.
I wasn't saying. I was just saying date. Oh my goodness! How vulgar!
What have I done?
How vulgar!
Okay, next match.
Yeah, good.
No, if she was alive.
Battle of the Brands. This is why I have such stress trying to edit around this podcast, and like I'll leave stuff in and I forget like to cut horrible things you say. You're evil, you know it. But we got Battle of the Brands up next, and you know
Dave
what?
Meltzer rated Batista versus Umanga 1.25 stars.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You can kiss my ass.
No, I agree with that. I feel like Batista and Umaga can do better than they had here. But the problem is there's no heat to it because it's a meaningless match, and that's the only issue. You know, you've got Battle of the Brands. I think if they made it more personal and had something that wasn't just Raw versus SmackDown, I think you could really build a good feud between these two. Would you agree?
I think 100%. You could have added like a world title opportunity to it. Was there a world title to this or no?
No, nothing.
Okay, so you add this as a tournament. Both sides, a bunch of wrestlers keep fighting. You have it to where the winner will get a world title opportunity. And then you make these two win. These two, you know what? You could arguably say these two 100% could get a world title opportunity. Because in the main event, Undertaker and Edge. And it would make perfect sense because here's the deal. This Batista would need to win this because if Edge wins, he was technically banned from getting another shot at Edge's title. If any of you remember that, it was on like Vengeance Day, Night of Champions, which I wonder why I remember that. Don't remember that show. Something to do with the ECW champion. Wink, wink. Anyway, he was banned from it. So you have someone like him be like, oh, okay, I need to win this to get the world title. But then you have someone like Umaga, who's been craving to get a world title. You know, you could make this like a much better build, but
Yeah, they went down the lazy Battle of the Brands route, and to just get these two on the card, and I feel like you could have done something with these two. You know, again, like you said, like a tournament final or something. But instead, no, never mind. So Batista being represented by Teddy Long and SmackDown, and Umaga's there. Or should I say, William Regal calls him Umanga, which isn't his name. It's not his name. He's not Umanga.
It is to me, damn it.
All right, fair enough. Well, Batista a year ago was against the Undertaker, and now he's doing this. So, you know, there's still some good stuff in this one. You know, Batista bumps off the apron because Umaga kicks him, and then Umaga, it is quite slow, you know, and it's only like 5 minutes ish, you know, not too long. It felt longer, but you know, there are cool points to this one, like Umaga hitting I think he hits like a heel kick, a spinning heel kick, was pretty nice.
Just so awesome. Like, Umaga is such an underrated talent.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the, you know, Solo on SmackDown at the moment doing the callbacks to Umaga, and yeah, it just makes me think, oh damn, I really should appreciate. I wish I appreciated Umaga more when I was a kid and watching it. And I wish he did more, honestly. But it is what it is, I suppose. They could have had, if they given a bit more time, they could have done more. But I suppose you got to keep WrestleMania. If they'd have picked up the pace and had, you know, Goldberg, Lesnar, WrestleMania 33, yeah, you go through your big moves, you do your big spots, that kind of thing. If they'd have done that here, I think it could have been a lot better. But I will say, I really did like the finish because the Batista bomb looked like he was struggling, and he probably was legit struggling, but the fact that he fell back with it and slammed Umaga down with it, I think it made it look a lot more impactful. So I really like that finish, but that said, like, if they were given something good to work with on paper, I think this would have been fantastic, but it's just a shame they weren't really given not a lot of time, and you know, maybe the people involved probably, I would say, you know, it is a better. I don't know, Piggy. What did you think of this match?
Piggy. Piggy, are you there?
Can we move on?
All right, no, right, David, your thoughts. He wants to move on. Piggy wants to move on.
I thought the match was pretty okay. I like a lot of stuff about it. But like that's the entire thing. This entire match, you could say, is just a big I like it, but like that's it. You can only remember it for small things, and it won't matter in the end. It's just a thing that won't matter, and like you'll forget about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean they could have done more, but oh well. So next up, you know, we get the recap from the Battle Royal earlier. So Kane won a Battle Royal on the pre-show to earn the shot. So it's for the ECW Championship. It's the only time that the ECW Championship has ever been defended at WrestleMania. So Chavo comes out first, and then he's waiting for Kane. Kane comes behind him, and then he's ready. Oh, he's shocked. The bell rings. Chavo gets hit with a chokeslam. Kane goes in for the cover, and already this whole explanation is longer than the match. Winner and new ECW champion Kane in like 8 seconds, but it's way longer than that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, ECW. Woo. ECW gets 10 seconds on this show. What do you think about this?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that Dave Meltzer gave this match like -1 star.
It's got to be a dud, hasn't it?
Dave Meltzer didn't even write this match.
Oh, God. Yeah, this is like, it went downhill a little bit here for the show, because, you know, you have like, this is such a really bad example for the ECW division. It just makes it look, like, foolish. Like, honestly, this wasn't even the most extreme match on the card. JPL and Finlay made, like, this look like, for your ECW division, your Extreme Pro Wrestling, like, God, this was...
There's other matches.
Really bad.
There's also, you know, I get it, but there's whatever. I mean, I'm trying to defend it, but I can't really. If you didn't have Chavo as the ECW champion, like maybe, or you had, I don't know. I like it's a moment, isn't it? Kane won the ECW championship, which was better for the brand than Chavo being champion, to be fair. So fair enough. And they do have a rematch at Backlash, which is a bit longer and maybe not as good. So
I do. Not as good, Jesus. If you're worse than this,
yeah. Because at least this one was over. At least this one was over quick, you know. But
Chavo, I would say, was probably a better champion than Kane.
Wait, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Chavo or Chavo? So I think it's Chavo, not Chavo.
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 So not Chavo, it's Chavo.
Yeah, it's Chavo. Yeah. Hold on, Chavo Guerrero. Herrero. I think I'm pronouncing that last name right.
Does anybody here have a Chavo Guerrero figure?
I have the figure from this exact match, I think.
Okay.
I found something.
Oh.
Hold on, I hope it's available on eBay. I have this screenshot if it's not. If you can, I'm going to send this to the group chat that we have. So if you could please put this up on your screen, or put this in the bottom corner of this review.
Oh my God!
I found this on eBay.
Yo, what the hell?
That pains me. That like really kills me to see that. God, because you want to know why? I want a Chavo Guerrero figure, and I want to film Chavo Guerrero versus Kyle O'Reilly for some real reason.
I would burn your figures myself. What happened to that then?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't.
In case I forget to put it in post, the picture you're showing me is of a Chavo Guerrero Elite, a really good Elite as well. Just like burned at the face and the arms. So I don't know whether this was from like a fire sale or what happened here, or someone was just playing around.
It's definitely a burn. God, that is painful to watch. Jesus.
Oh well. Well, Raven Simone's here. Did any of you ever watch That So Raven?
No.
Yeah.
Love that show. Don't Google what Corey's doing now, by the way.
Yeah, isn't he?
Having fun anyway.
Yeah. We know. But yeah, Google Corey in the house, and then forget that.
We have a commercial for WrestleMania 24 where Carlito gets his ass kicked by a seagull.
And there's one later on where Batista cucks some guy as well. Like he did. Yeah, he did the same thing to John Morrison as well. They say it was an inspiration from that.
Oh wow, it makes sense. Didn't he take a lot of people's girls?
Yeah, he's Mr. Steal a Girl. But then again,
got his ass kicked by Booker T.
Yeah. Although I like Batista, I like what his acting stuff that he's been doing recently.
Yeah, I don't know if he did get beat up by Booker T. I don't know. There's
allegedly.
Says he did.
Yeah, allegedly. But yeah, so that was from later on in the night. But we've also got perhaps the most emotional match on the card. It's a career-threatening match.
Wait, I want you to hear what Dave Meltzer rated this one.
So I will introduce this match. In one corner, we have an old man who will not stay down. Old Weller needs to be shot out back, and I'm saying that as a shoot. It's Ric Flair. I will never retire. I will blade till I die. I would rather die in a ring than die in my bed. Versus Shawn Michaels, a man who went, I'm retired in 2010 until the Saudi gave me 65 million and 3 cents of money in 2018 and retired bald in a career-threatening match. Dave Meltzer rated this match. What do you think he rated this match? 5 stars?
I know what he rated this match. That's why I want Ferg to hear this.
I know what he rated this match. What was it? 3.5?
3.5 stars.
Yeah.
Elton, you're not going to believe this, but freaking the WLC match has a higher ranking than this match.
More culturally significant.
So what was it? TLC? It was Extreme Rules 2014, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was the WLC. My mind was blown.
I'm gonna say something controversial here. I'm gonna say something controversial here, though. If you would
it got lower stars.
Oh, thank God! What did it get?
It got 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
3 stars.
That's better than a lot of the matches on this card. But then again, WLC was very good. If you were to pick between this match, and I'm not saying I don't like this match, I'm just saying if you were to pick between this match and WLC, for which one of me to rewatch, I would choose WLC every time.
Yeah.
That's fair, because you don't really want another emotional thing to it. I actually asked, when I met Ric Flair, I remember saying to him this was one of the greatest matches ever, and he just looked at me and said, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell, like, the whole thing, and I think Ric Flair wanted to leave WWE at this point, and they said, I think they said something to the effect of no, basically, and was like, you're either, or he wanted more, more money, more respect, and they were basically like, well, you can retire, and he was like, okay, so he never really wanted to retire, but if there was any time to retire, this would have been it. And like you said, it is one of Ric Flair's best matches in my view. I mean, it's got all the greatest hits. So yeah, it is a career-threatening match. If Ric Flair loses, he must retire. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame the night before. Yeah. Until
Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff go, Flair, buddy, we've got a company that we're killing, and we need you hanging man tits. So get on in here and blade like a bitch. And he happily obliged, and then he retired to Sting. And then in 2022, Ric Flair went, I will never retire. And he apparently now is on his third retirement. He apparently is now retired to Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett retired him. So he went from having a great match with Shawn Michaels to a better match with Sting, a less better match, but a very terrible match against Jarrett and Lethal. Not because of Jarrett or Lethal, but Ric Flair being 77 and wanting to wrestle when he can barely shit himself.
He actually said that he might want to go work Mexico. And as soon as I heard that, I looked at the show's name, Ric Flair's last match, and he wants to go wrestle more. Rick!
Yeah, I mean, I think
he passed out 3 times in the match. He said,
God, I hope someone kayfabe Bruiser Brody's him.
Oh, kayfabe. Jesus. Thank you. Am I going to have to cut that again? I'm going to have to cut that. Good thing there's a big pause of horror.
I'm on Ric Flair to know that.
All right. Well, so...
Let's get to talking about this match.
What?
I said, let's get to talking about this match.
Yeah, let's get to talking about this match. I mean, first of all, one thing, the main thing that stands out to me, and it's not even Ric Flair retiring or the sorry I love you, it's the freaking moonsault through the announce table. Oh my god, I recoiled in horror, and I don't do that often with wrestling. But the way that Shawn Michaels, like, this is fairly soon into the match, you know. They're doing a couple of reverse holds, you know, Flair's slamming Shawn down and, you know, blocking Shawn, and they're doing some nice chain wrestling here. And then, you know, they go outside, Shawn hits a springboard moonsault, misses Ric Flair, crashes stomach first onto the announce table, but it's not like the announce table crashes normally, no. The middle part breaks, so Shawn Michaels' ribs hit the metal ridge of the top bit of the announce table, and you can see him bounce, and you can see how much of a mistake he thinks it is. And I don't know, what were your reactions to that? Because it made me wince.
Did he break his ribs? Is my question.
He must have done, surely.
Oh, as soon as he must have been thinking, I'm doing this for Rick.
Yeah.
Bam, he doesn't. And he's like, oh, I should have regretted that. But, like, I think afterwards, even though he was in pain, he was probably happy because he gave Rick, like, one of his best matches. So I think, like, in the heat of the moment, he was perfectly fine with doing it. I have a feeling that it was supposed to be. I have a feeling it was, like, supposed to be later on, but I just think he said, how do I, like, make this even crazier? Yeah. Hey, Rick, let's go do that moonsault through the table right now.
I mean, it worked. It worked. And I think also it kind of built into the believability that if Shawn was really hurt, then that would make it so that fans might believe that Flair could win more, you know? Because it felt pretty obvious going in that Ric Flair would lose, but maybe that was to give it a little bit more drama there. So, you know, they go in the ring, Shawn hits his flying elbow, you know, tunes up the band, and this is one of my favourite parts of the match as well, where he's tuning up the band, he's about to superkick him, and he just can't do it, and then that's when Flair trips him, locks in the figure 4, and then crowd is going crazy. Shawn doesn't manage to turn it over, though, but yeah, chop blocks. Oh, Ric Flair looking like he's going to literally try and sever the kneecap from the body of Shawn Michaels, like he's punching it off his body with a massive chop block. Figure 4 again, but Michaels still not giving up. And then, oh my god, Ric Flair taking the Family Guy Peter Griffin bump with the super kick, the sweet chin music. One of the best sweet chin musics I've ever seen. Oh, the way that Ric Flair sells it, it's because it's out of nowhere. He walks slowly into it, pow, right upside the jaw, and Ric Flair just loses all mobility in his body, collapses. Yeah, that was fantastic. What did you think about that super kick? Because it caught me off guard. I went up to my TV. Oh shit!
Incredible. It was incredible sweet chin music. It's like, is that sweet chin music of the match?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not the last one, but you know, that's when.
No, like that. Is that your favorite one of this match? Like...
Oh, yeah. It's better than the last one. I think because of the shock nature of it and the way that Flair falls. And the fact he kicks out as well is like, oh, beautiful. And then that's when Shawn pulls himself up.
Does he kick out of it? I thought it was that... Oh, no, it's like a very long, like they wait before the pinfall.
Yeah,
so
they wait. So he drags his arm over and then he gets the big kick out at the end. And that's when both men are like, Shawn's like, I can't believe I have to keep hitting you to keep you down, and then Ric Flair's saying come on, and Shawn, that's when we get the classic I'm sorry, I love you, and then boom, sweet chin music, and that's what ends it. You can see both men are in tears, and beautiful match. And I will admit, sorry,
would have been great if like Rick just like shoot kicked out,
and just rolled him up, and it would be like the biggest rib of all time.
Just like everybody knew about this except Shawn, just like, what the hell?
Yeah. I think that'd be good. It would be a revenge for the Montreal anyway. So.
Yes. But, I guess we can give our opinions on this match now. You go first, Fergie.
Yeah, well, I really like this match. It was because when I went in, I was like, oh, maybe the occasion is better than the match itself. But even I was like getting caught up in it, and I'm not really a Ric Flair fan. Like, I'm not the kind of person who was like growing up with his work or anything. And I wasn't, I can appreciate the guy's work in the ring and all that, and like his promo ability and everything. But I wasn't like massively into him as a wrestler. But like this one, oh my god, so good. It didn't get me emotional or anything, but I can appreciate the story beats, and it was also like a best of Ric Flair in many ways, and the fact that Shawn was putting his body on the line with first of all the moonsault through the table, which just insane. Like if he had to break a rib, then that was insane. And then Shawn not quite wanting to beat up Ric Flair, not quite wanting to pull the trigger, and this is the match also that triggers the entire Shawn Michaels Chris Jericho rivalry, because Chris Jericho thinks that Shawn is disingenuous.
Can't forget Batista on that rivalry, because everybody does. But I think Batista and Shawn, like, this might be my biggest hot take. I think Batista and Shawn was an even more emotional rivalry.
Oh yeah, in terms of like the connection there to Ric Flair, yeah, and I think like in hindsight, it clashed really well with Chris Jericho getting involved. I think that worked well. But yeah, the whole ride, the whole journey was part of it, and yeah, so it's a shame that Ric Flair went out of retirement after this, because this would have been perfect. But it's up to him really what he wants to go out on. This is his retirement in WWE. Yeah, that's a fair point. To at least Shawn Michaels doesn't have that. So until he wrestled Gunther at WrestleMania. But anyway, Piggy, I would like to please know your thoughts.
Gunther, he's not wrestling Gunther at WrestleMania.
Oh no, he is.
How do you know that?
Well, this is coming out around WrestleMania time, so that's either the biggest prediction you've ever made or a really stupid prediction.
See, I'll tell you why. I think it would be the perfect thing to happen. Well, no, it wouldn't be the perfect thing, but I just have a feeling that he wants to do that, because if it's not him, it's Goldberg. Because they want him to fight somebody. They want him to fight a legend, and Rick, as he wants to come wrestle for WWE. So, you can build on that aura of, it's a chop, but you can just have it be like a little quick match. You just have it be quick. He beats him in 5 seconds.
Okay.
I'm kidding, by the way. That definitely is not happening at Mania.
Cut to when it actually is. But yeah, Piggy.
If it is, edit all of this out of me saying it's not happening.
No, we need the raw reaction anyway. Piggy, you're probably not the biggest Ric Flair fan, or even the Shawn Michaels fan, maybe, I don't know, but what did you think about this?
I am a fan of Shawn Michaels, so I'm just more of a fan of Saudi Shawn.
Oh, yeah, I know, we know.
For people who don't know, I've been pitching to NLW. Now, I understand this match is probably released.
No, it's not yet, so we don't know what the result is, so you cannot speak about NLW. But you want me to bring Saudi Shawn. You want me to bring Saudi Shawn into NLW anyway. Yeah. Whatever happens.
Yeah, I did. And he wouldn't let me. I even tried to PayPal him £50 and he refused. And it was like, come on.
Yeah, you want me to use Saudi Shawn for WrestleMania. That's what you wanted.
Bald Shawn Michaels into the Fed?
He wanted Piggy wanted bald Shawn Michaels for WrestleMania, and I said it's not going to happen.
No, don't do that to Shawn.
I know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Although he could be lying. We haven't seen the Shawn Michaels, so who knows? Maybe he's working us all.
I could be, but hopefully by the time this comes out, then I've released the first part of WrestleMania. I'm taking a break.
Have you already filmed that match?
I'm halfway through. Right, this is going to break the fourth wall, and I know we're talking about NLW. Whatever. Shut up. But I'm partway through filming Omega versus Michaels at the moment. And it's really good. I'm enjoying making it. So there you go. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Ric Flair fan. I don't like this opinion that he's the greatest of all time. You can go suck a big fat Saudi cock. I don't care if you think he's one of the greatest. I don't give a shit. Ric Flair does not do it for me. Ric Flair is that sort of ice cream where you like it at first and then you spit it out because you're like, oh, it's horrible. But it is nice. But it's so horrible.
Seconds.
So, yeah. But it's the best Ric Flair match I've seen. I haven't seen much Ric Flair matches because I refuse to even acknowledge that old man with his opinions on modern wrestling. Ric Flair, you don't know modern wrestling. You want to try and stay in wrestling, but you can't stay in wrestling because you're too fucking old. So stay fucking retired and stop bragging about how you could beat up half the modern roster. If you try to beat up half the roster, you'd fall down a flight of stairs and break a rib. So don't even try and talk about modern wrestling, you old fuck.
But it was a good match.
Anyway.
But it was a good match. So, there you go. You know, and I would agree as well. It's probably my favourite Ric Flair match. I'm sure there's more. David, what about you? What's your favourite Ric Flair match? This one?
No, actually, it's not. I'll actually have to say, okay, so technically Royal Rumble 3, not Royal Rumble 3, but the one he won the champion in.
1992.
Yeah.
Yeah, that technically would be. It's either that, but if you want it full-on singles matches, him versus Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 7. Good. No, 8. I think it is.
I was going to say that one as well. That's one of my favourite Ric. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Ricky all 3 of those matches for the show, incredible. And you cannot forget. Who did he have? I swear he had an Iron Man match with somebody.
It was probably Ricky Steamboat.
Probably was. Oh, Sting. You can't forget his
and
matches
Sting,
with Sting.
Of course, Sting, yeah.
Yeah, TNA Impact matches that they had.
Yeah, the TNA ones you're talking about, yeah.
Mick Foley one was the best. And his...
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
I think I'm about to sneeze, so if I go mute for a second, that's why. Oh, the sneeze is going away. Yeah, overall, incredible. And then, oh god, we go way downhill in the next match.
No, we don't.
Hey,
no, we don't.
Don't you disrespect this 5-star classic?
Do not disrespect Maria Kanellis. I'll have you know, I've met Maria Kanellis and she's very lovely.
I met her too.
Do you want me to sing her theme?
What?
Do you want me to sing her theme?
Yeah, you can sing the theme. Sing the theme, go on. Piggy's been waiting for this the whole time.
Give me a second.
Do you have to prepare for this? Right, I'll talk about Edge first, because we've got an interview with Edge, right? And he says the pathetic fans count on The Undertaker to win at WrestleMania, but he's going to slap them in the face with reality. And a hard dose of that is what's coming. And, are you convinced that Edge is going to win tonight? Me neither. So, yeah, you can sing, because we've got Playboy, Bunny Mania, Lumberjill match coming up next. All the divas. Oh, the divas, they're not looking, they're not looking sexy, but, by what I mean that, I'm not saying they're ugly or anything. I just mean in the way that you can tell that they're not too comfortable being eye candy here,
Yeah, I met Maria Kanellis one time and she kissed me on the cheek.
Ooh, get you. Mike Bennett is shaking his boots.
He is.
Right, are we gonna make this a single video?
Yes. We're almost over.
Mike, really awesome guy. Mike Kanellis legitimately is awesome. On the same day of me meeting Mike Kanellis, I also met Kevin Steen as well. So good day with Samoa Joe. Overall, good day. Anyway, I'm done bragging about people I met. I want to hear Piggy sing the Playboy song, but I will do the beat in the background.
No, you will not do the beat in the background.
I will do the beat in the background. Thank you very much.
Piggy's going a cappella.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fergal's going to add the beat in post-production, and then it'll be uploaded as a separate video. It'll be uploaded as go watch WrestleMania 24. I'm going to say that, and then Fergal's going to forget, and I'm going to remind him, and he's going to be like, oh, I have to do more editing. I have to film WrestleMania. Will you leave me alone? And then I'll cry in the corner, and he'll start laughing. And then when he meets me in London, he'll slap me in the face, and I'll cry again.
I'll slap you in the face and I'll get you kicked out of SmackDown. That's what I'm going to do.
Don't you dare kick me out of SmackDown, brother. You can take away my freedom, but you can't take away my rights, brother.
I'm going to get one of them big tribal queef signs and then you get kicked out for it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, go. Right, 3, 2, 1.
Here she comes again, like good medicine. Every step she takes, my blood is flowing. Her legs go on and on for days. She's got a hold on me. I need the remedy. Just a hold of would be a cure for me. I can't keep going on this way. Gotta get away. I gotta get away. She at the top of her game. She don't know my name. My future is looking bleak. She's out of my league. Look out. Hey, she'll take her heart out. Look out. Hey, she'll rock your world, there's no doubt. She comes to you when she wants to. I do anything she wanted me to. Who could blame me? Who would blame me with legs like that? Do you want me to sing the full song or?
No, but that was so fantastic that I think I'm worried that YouTube will pick that up as copyright for the actual song. So,
okay, no need to be sarcastic.
No, it was good. It was good though. I liked it.
I was acting legitimately. That was really good, actually.
Yeah, no. In all seriousness, I'm not even shitting you. That was a good rendition, and I've been waiting for that. Looking forward to it since the start of this 2008 kind of run. But yeah, so this match, Playboy Bunny Mania, basically first pinfall wins. Ashley and Maria take on the women's champion Beth Phoenix and Melina, who are accompanied by Santino, who was the jealous boyfriend of Maria, because Maria's doing Playboy and Santino's not happy about that. And Piggy alerted me that apparently Maria doesn't even go full nude in this Playboy. It's much more tasteful.
No, she does. Sorry, she does. I had a quick look afterwards. She does, yeah.
Oh, well. No, I can't Google it now, but I'll do it later. I'm not some weirdo. I'm just doing it for research purposes.
Wait, what? I blacked out there and I couldn't hear anything.
It's not for you.
Oh, okay.
The adults are talking.
The adults are talking about their Playboys. Hey. What's your favourite, Piggy? What's your favourite pornographic magazine?
Oh, I really love the pig Playboy with all the prime ministers.
Oh, they're all soaked in mud.
Yeah. Oh, I love when Boris Johnson got his sausage.
Okay. Gee. Ugh. Boris Johnson.
Too political.
God.
Too political with the pig.
This match was rated 0.25 stars, by the way.
This match did suck.
I don't want to imagine Boris Johnson with his Cheerio out spraying the milk on the pigs. Like, I don't want to imagine that.
Oh no! Why do I have to cut? I need to start writing timestamps down for these horrible conversations. I suppose it's going to be left in now. Anyway, Snoop Dogg's horned up. Snoop Dogg's horned up too, but we'll find that out later. This match sucks so much that the lights actually cut out during it, and then we have to go to emergency lights.
I'm so confused of like why exactly these lights go out. Like, it was so out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like all four of these women. I think they're all good in their own way. It's just that WrestleMania not really given enough time. It just wasn't want to. And Ashley and Maria, they're not known for their wrestling, so as fine as they are as characters, I don't think they were a match really for Phoenix and Melina. I will say there was a point in here where Phoenix and Melina did a spot right out of Young Bucks PWG with Melina on the back of Phoenix and Melina almost breaking her neck. Pushed, like, she's in electric chair position and moonsaults back off onto Maria. That looked really sick, and I appreciate that. And then there's also a spot where Jerry Lawler gets up and punches Santino in the face. But then Beth Phoenix, her finisher as well at the time is really cool. Her Fisherman Buster, planting Maria right on her spine, and Phoenix and Melina win. So, they did try a lot of interesting stuff. I'm guessing the general consensus on this that you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, it was a match. More of a match than Chavo versus Kane.
Yeah.
So I'll give it credit but, it got a longer run time than 8 seconds, which I can only imagine how Chavo could feel. That they walked up to Chavo and said, listen, we're giving you 8 seconds. Or, actually, in actuality, 24 seconds, but, it's like, what the hell? What the hell?
I mean, Chavo was probably in a more memorable segment than these women, because these women weren't really the main focus. It was Snoop Dogg and Santino, but Snoop Dogg giving a lariat from clothesline from hell that would rival JBL to Santino, and then makes out Maria, which is very lovely. That's what I do to every woman I save as well on the street.
Fair enough.
Piggy, please don't dead air me for that weird line. Can you tell me your thoughts on this match? You didn't watch it, did you?
I did watch it.
Oh,
I simply watched it for Maria's theme.
Maria's theme is good, and I like Maria, and I like everyone in this match. It just wasn't really the best thing on the show. That's it. Anyway, speaking of which, I mean, this might be a controversial opinion. I really did not like this next match. It's for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton defends against John Cena and Triple H. I will say the promo package made me a lot more excited for this match. It goes through the turmoil that both John Cena and Triple H had in 2007. Both had these big injuries, Triple H with his quadricep and Cena with his pec. And both are kind of trying to get redemption, really, and trying to get back to the top and win the WWE Championship back. For Cena, he lost it around the same time as well that Triple H lost it. And this was when Orton was having his rise as WWE Champion. Because at the start of 2007, Randy Orton was doing barely anything. I mean, he was with Rated RKO, but he wasn't really the main eventer he had been. And his 2007 just gets better and better and better, whereas Cena, obviously, he's the champion, but he gets injured and it looks like he's going to be on the shelf for a year, and Triple H injured for the entirety of the year as well. So this is their redemption story. And so the poll at the start of the match, it says 52% of the fans think Cena's winning, 40% have Triple H, and only 8% say that Orton is going to retain. So, my head says...
That was bullshit, or do you think that was legitimate?
I think it's legit, yeah. I think fans at home would say that Cena was their favourite. I don't imagine anyone who's paying to text in the poll is going to do it for Randy Orton, do you know what I mean? It's going to be kids doing it, so I think Cena would be the favourite. I know at the time probably Cena was my favourite. Well, not my favourite, but he was definitely up there, in my, in terms of my fandom, 10-year-old Fergs. But, the entrance for John Cena is really cool. I don't really see this replayed a lot in packages, but gets his marching band theme played by a whole marching band.
Yeah, it's a cool entrance, but I think it gets possibly... Does it? No, it does not get beat by WrestleMania 26. 25, I think, beats it. I will say that.
Oh, yeah, the Cena's on the aisle, that beats it. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's one of my favourite Cena entrances. Definitely the one where he drove the car through Detroit and broke the glass from the year before was good. But it's a solid Mania entrance. Although Triple H, he doesn't need any of that because his entrance is fantastic. Just the way that the camera pans 360 around him while the fireworks are going off in the arena. I really like that. And cursed Randy Orton with the Burning My Light theme in the WWE Championship comes out too. So, yeah. This one is... yeah, Piggy?
Dave Meltzer rated this match 3.5 stars.
That's generous, in my view.
Dave, I'm still with the bull?
Yeah, I'm going to say... I didn't like this match. No, it's not that I didn't like this match. I just felt like it could have been more.
Been better.
Yeah, it could have been more. I feel like, especially the story they told in the promo, the kind of you're expecting this big kind of blow off match, and it just, I don't know, it falls flat for me. And this is even before Orton retains. It just feels a bit flat. I mean, it's interesting at the start, everyone's brawling, and they go in kind of switching combinations. There's a Tower of Doom spot from Orton where he hits crossbody on Cena from Triple H's shoulders, which is nice. And Orton hits a DDT, double DDT to both, which is so impactful, it turns the lights back on in the arena. So there you go. Then continues to outsmart Cena and Triple H. Tries the RKO. I know he does hit the RKO to Triple H. But then Cena with his STF, and that's when Triple H breaks it up, and an Indian Deathlock, and then Cena stops it. And Cena and Triple H, they both fight out, and this is the Piggy special where Triple H paying tribute to the murderer Chris Benoit by putting Cena in a crossface. Why?
Is that Lee the reason why he does that, or is it just because he likes the crossface?
Well, Triple H and Shawn Michaels were doing it a lot around this time. Like, they were using the crossface in the aftermath of Benoit. Maybe they thought, finally he's dead, I can use it in my wrestling. But it just feels a bit weird. It's too soon. It's not even a year since.
It's too soon. Yeah, that's the problem. Like he's looking in a crossface. People aren't going to go, oh, look at that crossface Triple H did. Bloody brilliant that made. The technical work. They're going to go, wait, isn't that a dead murderer, suicide murderer's move?
Yeah,
they're not going to go, I love that crossface Triple H did. Bloody loved it.
Literally, the reign, the United States Championship reign that MVP is in here was started when he beat Chris Benoit, you know? So it's not that far. Yeah. It feels really far off because it's 2008 and it's an HD, but it's really not that long ago. And it because of the shift in presentation, it makes you feel like it was this whole eons ago, but it really wasn't. They're still suffering.
Because as I said earlier this year, it was Vengeance Day, Night of Champions. That's when
that's when it all went down. Yeah,
that's it was still that was in 2008. I think that
2007. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2007, but it was late 2007. I think.
Yeah, June. Yeah, June. It would have been
June because Jackass. I forget which Jackass member was supposed to. Steve-O, I think was Steve-O, not Johnny Knoxville. Steve-O was supposed to wrestle Umanga. I think it was Umanga. It would have been Umanga.
Yeah, at SummerSlam, it would have been.
Yeah, and then basically when Benoit did the double murder suicide, Steve-O went, no, I'm not up for that. And then Johnny Knoxville years later went, fuck it, I'll do it. And he put on a better match than Roman Reigns did at WrestleMania 38.
That's true. I mean, that's a good match. I mean, that's what we could have had it with Umaga. But I'm glad we got it, later on eventually. Yeah, sorry.
Muga? The Umaga match.
The Umaga. Yeah. That would have been good. They could have done it at WrestleMania, but oh well.
That match probably would have just went I think it would have had silly stuff in it, but I just think it would have been a harder physical match. You saw what you got at Mania was funny as hell. This match would have just been people would have been bleeding this match everywhere.
Oh yeah, they would have battered them. I think it's probably for the best that they pulled out there. The Triple H and Cena going at it. Triple H ends up hitting the pedigree, goes for the cover, but that's when Randy Orton punts him in the face, and Orton pins Cena to win. I thought it was an interesting ending. There were cool bits in this match, but I don't know. I feel like on a stage like WrestleMania with the build that it had, I feel like it should have been better. But maybe I'm expecting too much. I'm not too sure. What do you think about it? First of all, Piggy.
It was an alright match. I didn't like Triple H doing the crossface. It still doesn't feel right 15 years later. But other than that, is this the match where Orton does the double apron DDT?
Yeah. That's the one where the lights come back on because he,
Yeah, that was a good spot. Cena not winning was hilarious to me because I don't know who Orton loses the title to.
Triple H.
He loses it
a month later.
He loses it to Triple H a month later, yeah. And then Triple H holds it until Edge beats him. And then Edge loses to Jeff Hardy, I think. That's how the timeline goes.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Hardy loses it to Randy.
I think he loses it back to Randy because if you remember, it was oh wait, because in 2009 they have it was the Bash, I think it's called, and Orton's champion for they wrestle in a 3 stages of hell match. So Triple H must some point get that champion back.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
Here's your little tidbit there. So as Piggy was saying, it goes Edge because Edge is the one who takes it off of Jeff Hardy, and then Edge You remember No Way Out 2009 where Edge lost the championship in the first chamber but won the title later on? He lost it to Triple H there. That's when Triple H faces Orton at Mania, wins, but then at Backlash, that's when Orton wins the championship back, and then they have the whole little feud there. Batista won it at one point as well in that year.
Oh, yeah, but he got injured.
Yeah, and that's when they did a whole another. That's another story. So yeah, they are all intertwined, and in fact, like a year later, they do a rematch of this match at Night of Champions for the WWE Championship. Same roles and same result as well. So that's quite they call back to it, and I don't know if that one was better than this one because I can't remember that one, but this one, yeah,
What?
I just think. The individual spots, like you were saying, Piggy, like I like the spots themselves, like the double DDT, and the counters in this one as well. Like, but I don't know, something was missing, not clicking for me. But I'm not sure. What about you, Davian?
Oh, what about me? Okay, you might have to talk to Piggy a little bit since I gotta let my sister inside the house.
Oh, that's all right. But yeah, we'll go back to that. But I'll leave an empty pause so I can edit this out in post.
I'm here.
Davian, what did you think of this match?
I thought the match was It felt kind of like how Randy Orton versus Triple H at WrestleMania 25 is, just a match with stuff that should be better, should have good stuff in it, but it's just like a boring match, basically.
Don't get me wrong. I think this one was way better than that Mania 25 match. Like, because it was shorter and the spots were good. It was just, I thought it might be a personal thing that I wasn't into it. I'm not sure.
Nah, it was like an all-right match at the end of the day is how I feel about it.
If it didn't have the lofty expectations going into it, I think I would have enjoyed it more. WWE Championship at WrestleMania, the way they're building it up, and the entrances and everything, But it is what it is. It wasn't terrible, but maybe for WrestleMania it could have been better. That's all. But I'll tell you what, the match up next, way better than I thought it was. Originally. So it's no disqualification. The biggest box office boxer in the world versus the largest athlete in the world. It's Big Show versus Floyd Money Mayweather. As you were saying, Piggy, Mayweather was supposed to be in SmackDown versus Raw 2009, but they couldn't come to a deal. So, yeah, that's an interesting little factoid. So Floyd Mayweather,
It replaced him with an army guy.
So Floyd Mayweather.
Tony.
Tony, of course, Tony. Yeah, I forgot about Tony. Damn, Tony's a great character. And do you remember from SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, Green and Red?
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, good times.
Yeah, and Zombie Santino and Zombie Finlay as well in SmackDown vs. Raw 2009.
Yeah. I wish they did that in real life.
Yeah. So we've got Floyd Mayweather being accompanied by a former Nexus member. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Michael Tarver. Piggy, the great Michael Tarver.
Is this an inside joke or something?
No, he's in the Nexus.
Okay, and?
He was here with Floyd Mayweather.
And does he want a medal?
No, I'm just saying, it's quite an interesting little thing that they were using these developmental guys, that's all.
Oh, alright.
Oh, someone's not a Nexus fan.
Michael Tarver is like my third favorite Nexus member, actually.
Behind Bryan Danielson and CM Punk.
Yes. Here's my favorite. Here's my list. First off, Wade Barrett, obvious one. Next up, David Otunga. Next up after that. Actually, no, we have to go back to first because Mason Ryan technically is there.
Okay, no. You've said Mason Ryan at the top of your list. I'm already cutting that segment short. We're talking about Big Show and Floyd Mayweather, who Yeah, so Floyd Mayweather was obviously cocky. Big Show, he's back, looking shredded as well, as we were saying in No Way Out review. Looks so good compared to what he was doing last time. So Mayweather's got his little, I say little, it's huge. This massive pimp chalice with all the jewels on it for his water. I don't know if they were pushing Mayweather as the face during going into this match, but
he was supposed to be the face, but he decided like he was going to do his own thing at like the press conference, and he was just going to be himself. And he basically like kind of became like the heel by default of him doing that, and it made this like I think this build even better, honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like because I was confused as a kid because I'd not seen the press conference, so I was like, why is Mayweather being horrible? Why is he being mean to the Big Show? Or like why is he being mean? So yeah, and Big Show turns face after this as well. So they do a double turn kind of. And Mayweather, yeah, he plays up the heel shtick really well. I mean, he is a dickhead in real life, but that's, aside the point. He avoids Big Show a lot because Big Show is trying to go after punches, and Mayweather, he will hit a couple of shots of his own. Obviously, at No Way Out, Mayweather broke Big Show's nose legitimately, which pissed him off big time. So I'm sure Show wants to get a receipt here. And Mayweather's getting cockier. So then one of the entourage comes in, Big Show chops the hell out of him to show Mayweather, look what I'm doing to your buddy. And then Show catches Mayweather, but Mayweather goes on his back and tries to choke him out. And that's when Big Show gets free and stomps on Mayweather's hand. Oh boy, now it's time. Show's dominating now. Stands on Mayweather, throws him about. Mayweather's screaming for mercy. I'm surprised that Mayweather allowed himself to look weak, because I know that boxers tend to want to take themselves seriously when they go into the WWE and that, but he seems to, he's playing the game pretty well. I appreciate that. The entourage pulls him away and then they say, screw this, we're leaving. So then that's when Show gets really mad. He drags them all, flattens them all, brings Floyd back in, goes for a chokeslam, but someone hits him with a chair, gets chokeslammed, and now Floyd has the chair and smacking the Big Show all over. Goes for another chokeslam, but gets kicked in the groin. More chair shots again, and dents the chair right over the face of Big Show. He's not falling down, and that's when Mayweather gets his brass knuckles and smacks Big Show in the face, and that's when he's counted out. So, yeah, a very interesting spectacle match here. One of the better celebrity matches in WWE that they've done. It was very good to well laid out, I would say. But I don't know. I understand why, because at the time Mayweather would have been unbeaten, wouldn't he? So he probably didn't want to lose. So I understand from that perspective. Did it make Big Show look a little bit weak and silly? Kinda, but there were so many odds stacked against him, I understand. But I enjoyed this one, which is, is high praise for me. Piggy, what did you think about this?
Not my favourite match on the show, honestly. I don't like Floyd Mayweather. It shows you how horrible of a boxer you are when you fight Logan Paul in a boxing match and nearly lose.
Or Conor McGregor in a boxing match and go 10 rounds.
It just shows you that Muhammad Ali died for the wrong reason.
Oh my God.
Floyd just let him survive, I think.
Yeah.
That's how I legitimately look at it. But
what, let Big Show survive in this match, yeah?
Well, that's Big Show survive in this match. Probably that he's 300 pounds way heavier than him, and is 3 feet higher than Floyd.
Can you imagine if the UFC booked Derek Lewis, for instance, against freaking Moreno or someone? How that would play out? You got this massive heavyweight and the featherweight, in a legitimate fight. What would happen?
Oh, that would be okay. Something like that, I think would be cool. I just, with that matchup, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if Derek Lewis would somehow lose.
Oh yeah, that's a bad example actually, but yeah.
Brandon Miro is better shape, Well, they're both in good shape. They're better.
Yeah, but the heavyweights are quite they're different. It's a different style of grappling, isn't it? So Brandon would have to stay around the side, but I think his punches are kind of better.
His recent fight.
Yeah, those are just the first two names
somebody.
that came to mind. That's all. You know, I'm just trying to think of like massive
no.
guys in like a fighting environment.
Yeah, something like that would be crazy. So WWE is like the only like sports that could make something like that like make sense. So
yeah, but what did you like? Did you like this match?
Oh yeah, I liked it. I thought this was one of the best celebrity like anything with wrestling because. Floyd, he did good promoting skills. He did good. What else? He did good. God, Floyd was just so good, just in general. Like he knew how to build up. He went in the match. He got hit. He got beat up. You know. And he picked the best possible guy because he didn't need to have like a technical match like a Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole. He just needed to get beat up basically, and he needed to know when to hit his shots too. When to, you know, like it's really good. And Big Show did a phenomenal job here carrying Floyd at certain points. So yeah, better than the next boxing celebrity that comes by, aka Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah.
This match was rated 3 stars by Dave Meltzer. So
that's
wow.
That's generous, but again, it's fine.
No, here's funny. That's as much as the triple threat match that we just had for the WWE champion.
Wasn't triple threat more like 3.5?
No, I think it was just 3 stars.
Oh, I prefer this.
Hold on. It was 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm wrong.
I prefer this one, but the main event, from my knowledge, 4.25 stars. Am I right?
You would be correct.
Hey, and you know what? Fair play. We are finally on to our main event. So the World Heavyweight Championship.
One other dark match that happened on this show, and it was actually Sheamus's debut WrestleMania, actually.
You joking?
Nope, this is his debut WrestleMania. It was on WrestleMania 24, and I believe it was against Yoshitatsu.
What are you talking about? You are lying to me.
Oh, this is actually his technical debut WrestleMania because he was in a dark match.
They did not do a dark match between Sheamus and Yoshitatsu at WrestleMania 24.
I swear to God, Peggy, please. I don't know if it was Yoshitatsu.
Piggy, you're admin. You have to check it out. Was Sheamus at Mania 24 in any capacity?
Give me a second, okay, please.
Because I saw. Okay, so I remember that I saw photos of him doing his entrance at WrestleMania 24 with people there. So he definitely had a match. It was definitely a dark match.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. I swear to God, I believe so. It is here. He has his first WrestleMania.
I'm gonna.
Give me a second. I have to go find it.
Yeah.
You're talking about yourselves.
Argue this is actually believable because if you look at it, ECW is going around at this point, and I think he's soon to be debuting, or if not, he's already debuted.
Okay, so I'm looking at his. I pulled this up because I was sure. I'm looking up. He worked the first dark match he was working. Right, he worked a couple tryout matches in Italy and London. And I'm in 2008, and it just says he worked a dark match at SmackDown taping and in May tapings. He doesn't debut on the main roster until the 30th of June 2009. I think you are getting this mixed up with either WrestleMania 26, or because that's open air, or because it's also a similar stadium, or because it was quite light in the arena and he had the dark match against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 27. So I think you're confused with one of those.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to search up because there's a photo out there of him with the Mania. So hang on.
Is this what this? I'm trying to get my I'm typing in Sheamus Mania 24 photo.
Sheamus.
No such photo exists. You lied to me. I think you dreamed
Really?
this. Yeah, I think you dreamed it. Although I have found a photo. Wait. I found a photo of Sheamus versus Von Wagner from SmackDown in April 2020.
What the heck?
Do you remember when Von Wagner was on the main roster briefly? Well, it's pandemic, so maybe not.
Well, yeah, he was on the main roster. Oh man, that did happen. I swear, hang on, I got a photo. THOTO. Sheamus hair. That's the first thing that comes up. Jesus Christ, cats. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm wrong. Huh. Wow.
I thought you were doing a bit. I thought you were trying to derail me because I was like, I think you might have dreamed it, or you had a fever dream where you because I've had that before. I've dreamt that my brother dreamt that Chris Masters and Mark Henry had like a steel cage match, but it wasn't a steel cage in the ring; it was a steel cage on the roof. And then for weeks, I was like, "Oh, I'm trying to remember that match with Chris Masters," and then I'm remembering someone else's dream that they had. I don't know why I was dreaming about Chris Masters. You'd have to ask him. But again, we're on to our main event now.
I will.
Oh yeah, we're on to our main event now for the World Heavyweight Championship. Edge defends against the Undertaker. And the Undertaker comes out first. Usually in these ones, it's the Undertaker who comes out last. But luckily, they're letting the actual champion come out last, so that's interesting. They're both, well, not undefeated at WrestleMania, but both have never been pinned at WrestleMania at this point. The only loss that Edge has had at WrestleMania was the Money in the Bank the year before, and technically he was taken out of that match halfway through it, so he didn't actually lose. He was taken out of it. So they're both technically undefeated at WrestleMania. And we start off here with, I'll go through some of my favourite bits. To be fair, this whole match you can't really give highlights because it's a masterpiece in Edge knowing the Undertaker better than the Undertaker knows himself. And so they've got back and forth, and everything the Undertaker does, whether that be old school, Edge will pull him off the top rope. If the Undertaker is gonna drive him into the barrier, then Edge will counter that and drop Undertaker back first on the barrier. And then the Undertaker tries, and this also makes the Undertaker think, oh damn, I really have to pull out all the big stops to beat this guy. And that's when we get the dive over the top rope. I don't think I've ever seen him hit the dive as perfectly as he does here. Because remember the year after where he batters the cameraman in his match against Michaels?
Yeah, that poor cameraman, by the way. I feel bad for him because that cameraman ends up getting fired. Poor guy. Yeah. But yeah.
But the dive over the top hits it perfectly. And that's when we get Edge dropping Undertaker on the guardrail. And it's Edge working down, they slow it down well. And the crowd's really into it, because the past couple of matches, they might have been a bit tired, but they really pick up for the main event. So, there's a slugfest, both men trading shots, snake eyes, and then that's when Edge hits him with a drop kick off the ropes and counters the choke slam into the execution DDT. And, just everything that the Undertaker has, Edge has a counter for it, and the crowd pops every single time. Undertaker does hit the choke slam, but only gets a 2. And then that's when Undertaker goes for the last ride, because Edge is doing the 10 count in the corner for the punches, and that's when Undertaker looks like he's going to hit the last ride. But again, Edge gets out of it and hits a net drop. What did you think of the kind of early stages of this match, Piggy, when Edge was countering everything?
It was a pretty good match. Pretty good start. I will give you that.
Yeah. Davian, what did you think?
It's as I say, it's really good because you have someone like Edge who's so smart. And in kayfabe, he's billed as such one of the smartest wrestlers. He's the ultimate opportunist. If he knows something, he's going to counter it. And that's what he does. He counters every move that the Undertaker does. All of his big moves, he counters it. And that's when it builds up to when Edge starts getting cocky and he starts getting frustrated that he can't, beat the Undertaker, which starts to screw him over because the 10 punches, in the corner, bam, 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 and the Taker comes up last ride. It's just like Edge's biggest enemy in this match was himself. And it's like, it goes to show that. And it's like, it's such a, as I say, perfect showing of that. It gets really good in the early beginning. With the later half of the match is where I think it's really starts to get even mega better.
It definitely picks up, but I was impressed how this match, it didn't drag for me, like many of the other ones did. I don't know why. It's because I like both guys, really. Edge was very much, again, it's like sports analysis. He studies the Undertaker, he knows what he's going to do, and he beats him. And it's only when, like you said, when he was getting frustrated or he's getting annoyed, he would find a way to break him, basically. So Edge grabbed by the throat, low blow though to break the grip, because the referee, by the way, booted by the Undertaker by accident, and that's when Edge gets a TV camera and lays out the Undertaker, just like what we saw at Survivor Series. And Undertaker keeps getting back up, so Edge, then he's like, I've got to beat him at his own game. Tries for a tombstone, but then back on his feet, another tombstone. But this time it's from the Undertaker. Undertaker with a tombstone pile driver, and there's no referee. And we get the infamous, the run. Piggy, you have been waiting. I know you've been waiting to talk about the run. Talk about it.
Oh, the biggest run of WrestleMania.
The biggest run in wrestling history.
Oh, it's my favourite run ever.
Can you describe, because what Mr. Man is Charles Robinson here when he's running down the ramp?
I'll have to go on my Mr. Man Wikipedia.
Yeah, so you can go up and search it while I'll talk through the majesty of this run. So he's starts at the top of the ramp, and he's got his arms out and he's wiggling, he's panicking, he's running, and it cuts back to the Undertaker still pinning him, and he's still running. That ramp is huge, and it really shows you how long it is that he's running this entire way. Finally goes in, 1, 2, and Edge kicks out of the tombstone. Even though it was a really long count, the fact that he kicked out of it was still impressive. So yeah, what Mr. Man is Charles Robinson then?
He is Little Miss Somersault, or he is Mr. Busy.
He's very busy with his arms, and he's busy because he needs to go back down to the ring. It's a thing of beauty. And then, so Edge is kicked out. That's when Hawkins and Ryder come in, the Edge heads, but the Undertaker chokeslams Ryder onto Hawkins, like brutal. And that's when Edge hits the spear. And it looks like the crowd honestly eats this up. They think it could be over. And then Undertaker kicks out. Crowd goes ballistic. And then a second spear. You think he's going to cover him, but Undertaker grabs him in suddenly. He's playing possum. Hell's Gate. Edge, he fights for a solid couple of 30 seconds there to try and get to the ropes. He's fighting. He doesn't want to do it, but he realizes he has to tap out, and he has to tap out immediately and lose the championship. New world champion, The Undertaker, celebrates as we fade to black and also fade to the WrestleMania highlights package. Fantastic theme song, by the way, from Red Theory. And I also really love the Red Hot Chili Peppers song that they had in there too. But yeah, this was an absolutely gorgeous main event. Piggy, I'll get your thoughts on it first.
Good main event, honestly. The run makes it, though, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. That's the drama, the cherry on top. But yeah, overall, a good main event for you then?
Yeah, it's a good send home for the fans. The fans were sent home happy. I wouldn't mind Edge actually beating Undertaker at this point at WrestleMania.
I think the thing is, though, I think it was the perfect ending for The Undertaker to beat Edge. I don't really like the fact that they did. I don't like. I was just saying that I don't like the faff they did after, with The Undertaker and what's his name, Edge. This was a perfect ending because you had it built up from the year prior where The Undertaker won the world title, and then Edge cashed in and had their whole kind of rivalry and jump back. But yeah, Davian, what did you think of this main event?
Incredible main event. Incredible. I think this is currently, like, after 22 and 23, this is the third year a Mania has ended with a submission. But this match is so epic. Everything about it makes it feel big and important. It's the perfect match to main event, which, thank God, they end up goofing with 25. They end up goofing with 25 because they don't have Taker main event that Mania. It's like, they honestly, maybe in some cases the Royal Rumble winner should not always main event, but nevertheless, this match was incredible. And by the way, do you think Charles Robinson was training days before for the to run, or do you think he was training on that day? He was running back in fourth because he had to know as soon as he saw it. He had to be running for that. Or do you think it was just on the fly? He went okay, start running now.
I want to believe it's a shoot where they didn't tell the referees that there was going to be a bump, and they said, "Charles, you got 10 seconds to make it down to the ring, or you're fired." And then he was like, "Oh damn!" I like to think that was planted in his head to give a more authentic reaction.
I agree with that.
I mean, it would work.
Yeah, Charles Robinson. I don't think I should say this, but something happens with him on the SmackDown after this, but we'll save that for Piggy. But yeah.
I think we can probably leave the aftermath for this point. We can do that another time. But
no.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired, Piggy.
I went out and got these results. So you'd have to just deal with it, okay?
Okay. All right. You know what? I'll quickly give my thoughts on the main event. The great match, a lot better than I remember it being. Edge countering everything, knowing exactly what the Undertaker was going to do and exactly how to counter it, and then his own frustration cost him in the end. And then Undertaker finally winning the run, everything. Oh, beautiful. Great main event. I'd say it ranks up there, when you think about WrestleMania main events, about how many have been kind of disappointing in many ways. And because WrestleMania has had so many iconic main events, it probably doesn't even crack the top 10, but it's still a really, really good match. And I would recommend anyone, if you're going to watch... Actually, there's so much stuff on this show that you could watch. But we'll give our overall thoughts after Piggy has talked about the aftermath. So go on. We've waited this long. What happened after WrestleMania?
Crime Time, JVG and Chad defeated Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. Paul London and Brian Kendrick defeated Hardcore Holly and Cody Rhodes. Chris Jericho defeated CM Punk. Randy Orton defeated Matt Hardy. And Maria defeated Santino Marella in a no disqualification match. Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross were your commentators. Lillian Garcia was your ring announcer. And we have to go to ECW. So just bear with me for a quick second. So ECW on April 1st had Mike Knox defeat Stevie Richards, The Big Show defeat Colin Delaney, Kane and CM Punk defeat Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Shelton Benjamin. Joey Styles and Taz were your commentators, and Tony Chimel was your ring announcer. Or your commentators were Joey Styles and Taz, sorry. TNA Impact from the April 3rd. The dark match had Kaz defeat someone. The 8-man tag match had the Latina American Exchange, Hernandez and Homicide with Salinas. And the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin defeat the Rock and Rape Infection, Jimmy Raven, Lance High with Christy Hemme, Black Rain and Relic. AJ Styles and Tomko defeat Christian Cage and Rhino by disqualification. A non-tag team championship match. Lockdown Escape qualifying match had Shark Boy defeat Elix Skipper. A singles match between Tracy Brooks defeated Pennington Banks. And your singles match, special referee Matt Morgan, Sting defeated James Storm and Jacqueline. And finally, SmackDown. Matt Hardy defeated MVP. Festus with Jesse defeated Zack Ryder with Carl Hawkins. Vladimir Kozlov defeated Matt Bentley. John Morrison and The Miz defeated Jimmy Wang Yang and Shannon Moore. Kane versus The Undertaker ended in a no contest. And your commentators were Michael Cole and Jonathan Coachman. Your ring announcer was Justin Roberts, and for TNA it was Don West, Mike Tenay, and commentator was Jeremy Borash, or your ring announcer was Jeremy Borash. Thank you.
Can't believe they got Matt Bentley to job to Kozlov on WWE.
Well, since they didn't say it on SmackDown, what's the referee's name who made the run again? I forgot.
Charles
already.
Robinson. Charles
wrestles a match against the Great Khali.
See, this could be. You could be lying to me. You could be lying to me. You could be saying the same thing about Sheamus.
Because Charles Robinson posted this on his Instagram, actually.
Oh, I see.
And he actually wins the match too, which blows my mind. Okay, that part's a lie, but he loses the match. But,
oh, I see. I was going to say, yeah, I imagine that's probably punishment, and this is when around the time that they banned the Hell's Gate submission as well, and it caused the whole ruckus with the title.
Well, since we talked about dark matches, I'm going to go through the top 10 dark matches that nobody ever saw.
No, please.
But we can save that for another day. We will do that.
Yeah.
I like how Piggy got to get their shtick in, their results, but you can't do your little top 10. We will do it. There will be time.
Yeah.
As punishment, we're going to be made to watch December to Dismember.
Is Carlito and Primo, WrestleMania 25.
Oh, yeah, well, again, that's a shame that was missing. But overall, then, Davian, I'll start with you. Final thoughts on this WrestleMania?
It's definitely not the best. If you remember it, there is points in this show that you could tell isn't the best. You can tell there definitely is better WrestleManias if you sit through a long time, but because of pure nostalgia, it makes it even better. The show feels better. If you sat down and if you weren't a part of the ride of the build, I don't think it would have been it's a good show. I'll say that. The opening match was one of the best matches of the night. Main event was one of the best matches of the night. You had a really good following match after that with the ladder match. You had Batista versus Maga. You have after that, the other good match was Floyd versus Big Show. There is quite a bit of good matches in this card, but there is some bad matches, and it's not bad, maybe just all right matches. But there isn't a match that gives it this oomph to it. You have. There's still good matches. As I say, I will always say there's good matches. Even Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, which I think is honestly the match everybody remembers from this show. But the thing is that every time, I guess it just kind of if what you'll always remember from you'll remember that, and that's kind of it. I think I'll feel, and that isn't me being rude. It's just. It to the show is just that's what I kind of feel about it in some ways. I still love it. Still I still have so much love for it, but still, if you get what I mean.
No, I understand. Yeah, I get what you mean, especially from the nostalgia point of view. I think it helps that a lot. Piggy, what did you think of this show?
It was a good show.
Yeah, would you recommend it?
I would recommend it, mainly for Charles Robinson's run. I'd recommend it for the CM Punk win. I'd recommend it for the old man who will not die. That's Ric Flair, not Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, love you in Saudi Arabia. What else was good on this show? John Cena, absolutely, his entrance was great. Triple H's entrance was great. Floyd Mayweather was horrible. Yeah, so good show.
Yeah, I would
Can
say.
I go to bed now?
No, I've got to give my thoughts on the show. We'll get there. Don't worry. If
Well,
you
I'll
want
see you
to,
later.
if you want to go, I will talk to David and I'll give my thoughts on the show. Or you could say bye and I'll cut it in post.
Oh, okay, he's back. Okay, I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, you're gonna hear my thoughts. You're gonna hear my thoughts on this show. I thought it was spectacular. It did start off a little bit rocky for me. There were bits where it dragged, like the Batista Umaga match and the Bunny Mania and all that stuff. Kind of dragged a little bit for me, but it didn't detract from my enjoyment of the show. there are several matches on the show which I would go back to. Like, particularly the Money in the Bank is one that I'll go back to multiple times, and I've seen that match multiple times because I love it. The Belfast Brawl as well is really cool. Opener, like the throwing the trash can at Hornswoggle was fun. The main event was better than I remember it too. And HBK and Flair was a really good match as well. And, you know, Mayweather and Big Show was good. Again, though, I feel like I might have looked at it in rose-tinted glasses because everyone says, oh, WrestleMania 24. And when I was watching it, like, it was good. It was a good show, but it wasn't like an all-timer in my view. And I think it's what you were saying, Davey, and it doesn't have that oomph moment, you know? It's got historic implications such as the, you know, Ric Flair retiring from WWE and the Mayweather stuff. And like most of the matches are fun and I enjoy them a lot, but it doesn't have that oomph. I will say that Money in the Bank is one of my favourite matches I've seen of the genre. And the main event, even though I did say the matches lack a bit of oomph, I would say the main event definitely exceeded my expectations for what it could have been. And it was a very good, solid match between two of the best to ever do it. So, yeah, if I was to recommend a show, I would recommend watching this, even though it's not. You know, don't go into it with high hopes, though, because I think some people might overrate it because of nostalgia reasons, but still a good show. So that is WrestleMania 24. I have no idea what's going to be next week. I cannot remember what my schedule says it's going to be.
I know it's going to be next week. You'll have to give me 1 second. So,
it's from... it's the Christian Cage arc. Is it the Raw where Tomko debuts?
It is Raw. Well, I don't know if it's going to be WrestleMania 20, but it is Raw 04. So...
Oh, yeah, we might have to do WrestleMania 20 as well. But we'll find out if we do that.
I would love to be on that one.
We'll have to get you back. Maybe it'll be the next one. Maybe it won't.
Possibility. I don't want to hype it up, but mostly because I want to talk about that Goldberg and Brock match.
Oh, now we have to do WrestleMania 20. I remember. Yeah. All right, we'll do that. We'll do that as part of the arc at some point. But I'm sure whatever happens next week, it's going to be a banger because it's banger after banger after banger. I guess you could say we are the... No, I'm not going to take that nickname from Sheamus and McIntyre, but I will say thank you for listening to this podcast. I've had a lot of fun talking it over, but I am ready for bed. And, you know, Davey, you can have your dinner. Yeah?
Hey, I am ever allowed to pick a show again on this show. If I do... I would like to say it will be Fatal 4-Way. I'm saying this again so nobody can forget.
I really want to watch Fatal 4-Way. I'm not going to lie. I remember watching that when it came out, and I was like 12, and I really enjoyed Evan Bourne versus Chris Jericho. Oh, Piggy, you'd love it. Honestly, it's a good show. So, we will get you back on, and we will watch Fatal 4-Way. I promise you. Even if Piggy is gone or hates it, I don't care. We're watching it. So, thank you for listening to WrestleMania 24. Join us next week. Thank you to Davian for joining us as always, and Piggy as well. Say your goodbyes. Wow, fantastic goodbyes. I'm doing the outro then. Bye everyone. Thanks for listening.
I thought Piggy was going to say goodbye, so I was waiting for him.
You got Ed.